Hi, my name is Cindy Latin from The Ride. My role in this five-star production is as a performer, and today I'm going to do part 3 of Pro Tools Mix Organization. Um, so last time I left off talking about groups and the importance of kind of grouping things together, especially when you're doing comping and you want to make sure that perhaps the entire kit is taking takes from the same that's a lot of takes is grabbing the same takes at the same time so that you don't have bleed from different takes mixing up and things sounding kind of crazy. You want everything to be consistent and together. The next thing that I want to kind of talk about is one of the main reasons that creating this submix is important, specifically for the drums. So, kind of with the drums, is like each part of the drum is its own instrument. At least that's how I think of it, and you want to process them differently. Yes, there's going to be some processing we do on this overall submix that the entire kit is going to get, but there also needs to be some individual processing. Like, I'm not going to do everything the same way to the kick drum that I'm going to do the snare. For example, this is the kick drum. It's in and out, or bass drum. What I usually do is create another submix, the stereo auxiliary, and that was Command Shift N to create a new track. And I would name this, kick drum. So next, I would send both of these, or change the output to the kick drum that we just created, and then make sure to change this kick drum to now go to this drum submix. Okay, so, and then always Command, and then click over here on the S, solo save. So the reason I would do that is that I want to process these two together. This is one instrument over here. And let's say the way I want to EQ this kick drum, I'm going to take off this group, is not how I want to EQ the snare or the hat. So let's say I put an EQ on. I just got this one from FabFilter, which was really nice. It was kind of a splurge, but it's amazing. So for now, I'm just going to pick whatever they have. I'm not going to really go through it. This is more about organization than actual mixing for right now. But let's say kick fixer, whatever. So this is some preset EQ they have for a kick. Great. So let's say that I like it. Let's say I like how it sounds, whatever. That's not what I want to do to the snare. I'm going to now go to my snare and where is it? Right there. I'm going to put on some other EQ. Let's see if they have one for the snare. I'm sure they do. Snare salvage. Okay, whatever. So they each have been EQ'd differently, and I would also compress them differently, but I'm not going to do it right now. So whatever. They both have their own processing, but this drum submix can help with things that I want on both of them. Let's say I want to put the same reverb on the overall kit. Usually what I do is that the kick drum doesn't really get too much reverb. I usually will actually put the reverb on these individual tracks, or send them to a reverb and adjust how much I want on the snare versus the hat and all that. And then I may not put one on the kick. However, the kick can get a little bit if I want to put that same reverb, or another one even, on the entire drum kit. So let's say I picked a reverb. Let's say I like this reverb. I would probably really scale it down and just put a little bit, because you really don't want your low end to have reverb. Kicking the bass drum, it's kind of strange. I always put a little bit just to make it sound like it's in the room with everything else. So I hope that helps. And quickly, one other thing is, if I were to put a submix on all these saxophones here, let's just do it quickly. Command Shift M. Stereo auxiliary, let's call it saxes. You should always keep in mind that there's a bunch of different ways to kind of achieve the same effect. Hold on, I'm going to send all of these, or change the output rather, to saxes, that track I just made. Okay. If I want all of my saxes to play on the right side, far right, like that, that's what, let's see, do I have a saxes group? Yeah, I do. There's a, oops, okay. That's how I would do that. I just went to their output, to the sax submix, and changed them all to the right. So now if I play these saxes, wherever they are, you're going to hear them on the right. Or I could change them all to the left. Now, sometimes I just leave this completely open and we'll go to the individual tracks and kind of change their spacing. that's what I did in this case, but there's, different ways to achieve the same effect or even make it slightly different. Sometimes I feel like if I do it individually, I can kind of make them each sound a little like spread out from each other and can more specifically pick where each horn is. So I hope that helps, and good luck.